What up, guys? What's good? Man, amazing. I don't know if there's a lot of noise in here, but I wanted to check in with you guys, see what's going on. It's the weekend. Is it a weekend? No, it's not the weekend. It's, what's this? Thursday. It's Thursday, but anyways, I haven't done a live in a long time. I don't know, for some reason, YouTube, I don't know, there's something going on. I wasn't able to go live. Um, so now I think they figured it out. And I sent an email to YouTube, so now we're able to go live. But I just wanted to say what's up to everybody, checking with you guys, do a live, chop it up. Like I said, man, it's been a minute since I don't know if, let me know if the wind is too much, because I'm sitting in my car for this one. I was in the studio, but we're moving, we're clearing out things in the studio, so it's a little bit of a mess in there. So, and my phone was dying, so I just kind of wanted to do it here in the car. So what's up to you guys? If you're on, say hello, say what's good. I wanted to talk about a few things, but also get you guys feedback as well. So if you've ever, we're talking about really Liberia economy, right? I was having a conversation with somebody not too long ago. We're talking about shipping to and from Liberia. So one thing though is I want to get you guys feedback on if you're doing business in Liberia right now, any kind of business in Liberia, how are you getting things to Liberia? Are you shipping? Are you shipping through a freight line, or are you taking things with you as you're going? So we're talking about that, and how is that impacting the economy of Liberia, as far as how the whole like seaport, right, the free port of Liberia, how is that whole transaction going? So one thing we've been doing too has been buying things locally in Liberia, or taking things with us as we're going, right, through our process, with either contributing back to the economy or through the business we're doing in Liberia. So, but we're thinking on, we're getting into the whole idea of just shipping a lot to Liberia, maybe going to China, getting some stuff, and shipping a container to Liberia. So if you guys, if you've ever shipped to Liberia before, if you've kind of have some insight on how to ship, I kind of want to hear from you guys. Again, if you're on live, just say what's good, say hello, say what's up, so I know you guys are on. Like I said, man, we're trying to chop it up, we're interacting. Kind of wanted to check in with you guys. It's been a minute since I did a live video. So yeah, so we're talking about the seaport of Liberia, right? And how that whole interaction and how that's affecting either investment into the country, or how that is affecting the development of Liberia, right? Because we all know a lot of people in the diaspora are thinking about doing something in Liberia, right? You can go to Liberia and work on a project and get things locally from Liberia. However, certain things, depending on the type of equipment or the type of project you're working on, you may need to ship things to Liberia. All right. So now, one of the biggest challenges in Liberia right now, you guys all know, is getting things into Liberia, and freeing things from the seaport. That's been like a major challenge that has even deterred people from shipping things to Liberia, because it's such a hustle to get things out of the seaport, and how that is affecting the entire economy. That is affecting the entire economy of Liberia, because if we can't ship things to Liberia and get them out of the seaport, if we can't easily get goods and services into the country without having to go through hoops, it's a challenge, right? So I was on the phone just now ago with a guy who's a Liberian, and he's part Liberian and part Ghanaian, I believe. But I think he grew up in Liberia. So just talking about the fact that he sent a whole container to Liberia, as far as equipment, heavy duty equipment, things that are used to build houses and machineries and stuff like that. And they gave him such a hard time. At the seaport at freeing his goods and container, that he left it. He just forgot the whole thing, right? So even though he lost all of that equipment, he's somebody who has access to a large inventory of equipments and heavy duty equipments, things that make the work more efficient and easier in Liberia, but he just crashed the whole thing and he just forgot about it and left it. So yeah, even though he lost those things, but he was not interested in reinvesting into the economy of Liberia or reinvesting into the country by sending these heavy equipment, right? So I really kind of want to hear you guys' input. That's something we're doing research on as far as the seaport of Liberia, getting goods there, right? Now I know some people do like maybe just 1 barrel or 2 barrels if you're shipping your personal goods and services to Liberia. Maybe you use a local person who is shipping to put into a big container. They have connection that they can free your stuff, right? That's good and all, but we're talking about you wanting to ship like a household goods. You're building something, right? Maybe you're invested into like a local clinic or hospital or whatever it is that you're trying to do into the country but you need to take goods and services like in bulk into the country. How is that helping? So I know right now people are using, like they're utilizing the connection at the seaport, right? So if you ship something, you need to know somebody there who you can give money to, and they're taxing your goods and services based on maybe what you're doing in the country or what the perceived value is in the country that they're taxing you on, like the money you have to pay to receive it, right? People are running into issues where maybe you buy, let's say for instance, you buy a small vehicle that you want to start a little business with, maybe $4,000 or $5,000, and at the seaport, at Freeport, you have to pay 6,000, not 6, but maybe 3,000 or 4,000 or maybe more than 50% of the value of the thing you bought to free it. It's kind of really discouraging to do that. So we're looking for feedback as far as, you know, how can we as a country facilitate the import and export of goods, mainly import of goods into Liberia, that is going to be very helpful to the economy, because that's something right now that we struggle with as far as people sending things to Liberia and getting things to Liberia, right? So I kind of want to hear you guys' input. Yasa said, dealing with this right now. Exactly, that's what a lot of people are dealing with as far as, you know, getting things into the country. So I don't know, maybe you can expand more on like the challenges you're facing, because I kind of want to have this as a forum where we help each other out, also interact, right, and kind of voice out some of the challenges we're going through to find solutions, because it's just not about complaining, right? It's about finding solutions. So maybe if you've been able to find a solution to this, or no means by which people can get their goods and services into the country, that's something that I think will help all of us on this platform. But that's something that's, you know, that's something that we've been thinking about. So if you guys are doing business in Liberia, like, that's one thing I want to ask is, are you shipping to Liberia or are you buying things locally in Liberia? And if you're shipping to Liberia, how is that process for you, right? And what method are you using and stuff like that? Yes, I said, currently I'm actually researching how to get around this. Seems I have a family member who does shipping, but you already mentioned that. Yeah, so, you know, people are using, you know, people who didn't know to ship, but like, how can we do this on a mass scale? Meaning like any Liberian citizen or like diaspora Liberian can just say, you know what, today I'm building this, I'm doing a factory, or I'm making this project, and I need to take these machineries or the goods into Liberia to complete my project, to do my project, right? How can we do this with ease instead of having to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, right, at the port? So that's something that I kind of we've been struggling with. Even we that are invested in the country, as far as just, you know, having resources and connecting with people who have resources, that's one thing we still struggle with, right? As far as, you know, you can ship to Liberia through somebody who is shipping, take 1 barrel or 2 boxes or 4 or 5 boxes and give it to them, pay them, and then put it on their container. But like, if you yourself decide that, you know what, I want to ship like everything I need to build an orphanage home, or everything I need to build a clinic, how can I do that on my own, right? Without knowing somebody, like face to face, physically knowing somebody to put something in their hand, into the country. So I think that's one of the main challenges for Liberia right now, as far as getting things. Because I think if it was very easy to get goods into the country, people would just do that all the time. People, is that something people would do? Somebody said, what are the reasons given by this for holding people's goods? Right. So that's a good thing. Some of the reasons counter would be for saying that they're holding your goods. Mainly, the reason why people goods are staying at the seaport is because of the charges that are given to you. Right. They will come and see your goods and services you're bringing, your goods. I mean, and they're like, okay, this person is about to make a lot of money in this country, so let's go ahead and tell them, hey, based on the reason you're bringing, based on what you're about to do with these equipments into the country, that's how much we're charging you. So imagine if you're looking to start a big project in Liberia, if you're looking to, let me start this car because I think this is about to die. My battery died, so if you're looking to, just bear with me, guys. If you're, let me put the air on because I think it's really cold here. Let me know if the noise is too much. But if you're looking to start, a business, but a business is going to be of a large, I think in charge of the seaport is the same person, the same director. But that's something I kind of reached out to the director there. I don't know if the same, I forgot his name, but we reached out to somebody who reached out to him to really get a feedback on how can people that are stopping people from doing business. Entry point of getting your goods into the country is the number one challenge, right? And I've faced it myself, even though, like I said, man, we're in the country every time. I faced it myself where myself or somebody close to me were looking to go to places like China, or India, or some other country, Japan, and get services and goods in bulk and taking it, shipping it to Liberia. But the fear is, okay, that gets there, you already spend money to go to China or whatever it is. China is the most popular place. You've already spent your money to go to China, ticket and staying and living and finding a good manufacturer and all of that stuff. You pay some good amount of money to get a good quality product. Okay, you get that. You go through the interaction with China and put them on the container, like a 40-foot or a container or whatever it is, and you ship it to Liberia. The next hustle is, okay, is there. The method by which they are valuing and evaluating your goods that comes to the country in order to tax you, it's not consistent, and it's mainly based off of like who you know, and also is based off of what it is that you're using that goods for, that you're bringing to the country. So I kind of wanted to shed light on that and also get a feedback from you guys. So if you're on a live, first of all, just say what's good. It's been a minute since I did a live. I've been having issue with YouTube doing live, but I just kind of want to say, if you guys, if you're on here, just say what's good, so everybody can kind of interact. That's the main reason why I like to be on live, because everybody, all of you guys can kind of interact and get feedback from each other, which I think is great, because that's kind of what this platform is for, to really feed off of each other successes, right, as far as doing business in Liberia or contributing in any way to the economy of Liberia. So let's see here. So AJ said, when do you plan on moving permanently to Liberia? So I mean, these are all the things that are still part of the factor of moving permanently to Liberia, right? And that's exactly why, again, I'm talking about this topic, right? In order to move to Liberia permanently, there's a lot of steps has to be taking place, right, as far as establishing yourself in the country. So one thing too is also getting goods, because if we have to live in Liberia permanently, we'd have to make sure our home, our businesses, and everything is in Liberia. So we have to get them there, right? We're buying things locally in Liberia, as far as goods that will help our stay in Liberia, but not everything is there, right? And if we want to get things in bulk, sometimes it's just good to go to the manufacturer. So moving to Liberia permanently, this also plays into that, because we're looking to go to like one of these countries where we can get a manufacturer like China. And let's say if we're looking to build, let's say on a state, or looking to build like a rental property, we need to furnish the entire thing, which we can get from Liberia. We buy some stuff locally. But if you're doing it in bulk, sometimes certain electronic equipment, microwave and things like that, they don't make them in Liberia, right? So, we have to get them from the manufacturer directly in order to get them in bulk, to get a good price, right? But still have to bring them back to Liberia. So permanently moving, I know I've mentioned that on this channel, planning on moving to Liberia. That's still in works. That's something we're still working on diligently. However, this plays into that. Us getting our things in Liberia in bulk, and maybe not really paying out of our teeth at the seaport to get the goods out. That's something that plays huge effect, because some people are literally just leaving their things that they ship. They just leaving it at the seaport because maybe the challenges of getting it out. So that's one thing too, guys, that I think is a major challenge. Like I said, if you're on this live and you know of means by which, or like your thoughts on how we can better this process, I'd love to hear it. That's one thing too. Secondly, as you guys know, we have been out of Liberia for a little bit now, not too long, but not most recently. I kind of want to ask some questions. If you know, or if you know somebody who close to you who just came from Liberia, the COVID thing, right? I've asked about it. How is the COVID thing? Because of course we're planning our return very soon. We're going to be there. Are people still doing COVID tests at the airport? Are they now using the vaccine card? Are they now using your test results from the country you're flying out of? That's kind of what I was asking people. So if you're on this live and you know firsthand, or somebody who just came back, I'm interested in kind of knowing that. Let me know. But this live is mainly just checking in with you guys, but mainly also talking about the seaport shipping to Liberia. And I'm not talking about shipping as far as, you have somebody who ships, so they pick up your barrel, you fill it up, you pick it up, you pay them. I'm talking about you personally shipping your own container with all your goods and services to Liberia, and how that whole process is. So that's something I like I said, I try getting in connection with somebody at the seaport who I kind of want to interview and see if I can give insight on that. Let's see, AJ said, I've been thinking of moving, but how does one move to Liberia when you have a mortgage, bills, etc.? Any advice? So again, I did a video, AJ, on moving to Liberia and like the steps we're taking, right? It's a serious process. And if you watch that video, probably like 2-3 videos back, maybe more longer than that, but things I said was, let's say moving to Liberia, that should be something that process for you shouldn't take less than 5 to 7 years, right? It's a slow process. If you think about moving permanently, if you're moving part-time, where you're moving, let's say going to Liberia, living there 6 months, coming back and living here 6 months, that's more doable, especially if you have families here who are staying here. You're not getting up and moving your entire family. It's more of a planning process. So to answer that question, like I said, in order to move to Liberia permanently, if you have bills and mortgage you establish here, it should be something that you decide you should have started thinking about 5 to 7 years before you make the move, right? So I talk about things like starting to downsize, starting to have how do you call it? What is this lifestyle called? A minimalist lifestyle, right? Meaning if you're buying a car, because we like to keep up with the Jones. Maybe you get a good job now, all your friends are driving a nice car, you go ahead and buy a car and take a car note. That's not something I do. Like, I drive this car now, which is, I would say, it's a fairly nice car. It's a BMW, a newer model. But what I did for this car, knowing that we were planning on moving, is I didn't take a car note on this car. I just saved up my money and bought the car, right? And bought it during the time where I could afford it, because it was a great deal. The person who owned it was moving out of the state. He didn't want to take it with him. He's a wealthy guy. He was just selling it for the low. So I bought it, right? I would not have taken a car note on it, right? Second thing too is because of the permanent move, I barely have like your normal bills and stuff that you people or somebody will have, right? I don't do anything that would have been planted in the country for a long time, meaning like taking up at least like even the studio we're in, right? The studio, they're saying, hey, get you a cheaper rate if you sign for 5 years. Like all of these contracts and things that were going to have you stay here, right? And or getting things that's going to make you have to be working all the time. Like people acquire modern things, like getting a brand new, let's say every time a new iPhone come up, you get a brand new one and sign up for 2 years, or like all of these things that are just going to have to will keep you working. You just have to be working in order to pay these bills. So I'll give you an example, right? Somebody wrote on Facebook recently, you know, oh, America is not what you think. You work and all your money goes to bill. Of course I have bill, but my bills now is so minimum, right? I've kept my bills to just like, you know, living and a little bit of utilities. As far as just your regular lifestyle, like owning this or paying for this or getting a credit card and buying a, let's say, a brand new living room set, so when people come to your house they think it's cool and you're paying on it, like you got 3 years to pay on that, or all of these things, I don't do it. I barely buy things like that. So it's mainly to move to Liberia permanently, or even part-time, half the time. You need to start cutting down on your living expenses. You need to start avoiding things that are going to keep you into contract, things that have to pay monthly, all of that stuff. Just live minimum. That's kind of like the thing. That's what we're doing, right? So because when you move, you don't want to come back to like defaults and bills and things that are just going to make your life harder. So like you said, man, I will, like if I have a mortgage, I'm thinking of moving to Liberia permanently, I will first of all make sure, like I said, guys, you have to have a stream of income in Liberia that is verified and is already making money. So don't move to Liberia saying, okay, you know what, I'm gonna pick up and go to Liberia and establish a business there. No. Why do you think we're going to Liberia 3, 4, 5 times a year? We need to make sure whatever we're doing in Liberia is sustainable and is currently making money, and we have a foreseeable future of it making money, right? So it's never going to be like, oh, I have this business idea, or I just established the business this last year or last month or 6 months ago, so now I'm moving. It's not it. It's a long process, guys. So I know when you go to Liberia one time, for me, the first time I went there, when I came back, I just wanted to pack up and move, because of just, it's home, the peace of mind, the environment, the business opportunity, the income potential as far as business wise. It really entices you to just get up and go, because this America is stressful, man. Like it is. So, and being home is just a fulfilling feeling. So you just kind of want to move. So, but it's got to be a slow process, something you got to think about, because you don't want to move there, and it's a possibility that things may not work out for you. So you want to make sure you have a strong base back here. When you get back, you can get moving again. So like I said, man, as far as moving to Liberia, that should be a 5 to 7 year plan. Start downsizing, live a minimalist lifestyle. Don't try to keep up with the Jones. Don't try to get things that'll keep you, gotta be fashionable, buy designer things. Now you gotta pay for it. Get a credit cards and charge it up with different trips to make sure for the Instagram and Facebook posting. Especially if you're a couple, everybody going to Miami, going to Puerto Rico, they're posting. Now you want to do it too, so you buy things on credit and all that stuff. I will minimize all of that. Just live simple, because trust me, no matter how much fun you can have in these states, in Africa, the fun is way better. I tell you this, like I said, you don't have to have fun all the time in Liberia. You just jump up and go to Ghana, jump up and go to Nigeria, go to Sierra Leone. Like if you're having fun over there, you have fun. Like the fun is 10 times what you have in America. So if you're somebody who like having fun, who like to go places and chill, I wouldn't focus too much on doing that in America. Trust me, this America chilling is not chilling. Like chilling in Africa is chilling. We're in Ghana. The chilling we did in Ghana was chilling. We're coming back from Liberia. We stopped in Ghana. The chilling is like chilling, big balls type stuff in Ghana, in Nigeria. Beautiful places, sceneries, restaurants, beaches, everything. So all of these chilling in America and going to these different places is cool. But like if you're thinking about if you're somebody who want to be more invested in Africa, just push that, just delay gratification. Just keep that, right? Because that's going to be 10 times when you get there. So like I said, man, minimize your living, start planning ahead. Make sure you have a working business in Liberia that's actually bringing income, and you can see that business being sustainable for like a foreseeable 4 to 5 years time before you make that move to Liberia, because things can go south in Liberia. And I wouldn't advise anybody moving to Liberia if you haven't been to Liberia at least 5 times for at least a month at a time. Don't do it. Like, do not move to Liberia if you haven't been to Liberia at least 5 times for 1 month at a time. So you have to really get in the fabrics of the culture in Liberia, even though you're Liberian, before you move there, because nothing's going to surprise you. You'll be well prepared. You're not going to go there and after a few months all kind of things start happening that you have to come back. So there's that. AJ said, what about kids, education for them and advice? So I've mentioned, like I said, man, great question too though. I've made videos on all of these before. Kids is tricky. Really, first of all, I wouldn't take my child to permanently move if they're under 5 years old. You know, I probably wouldn't. If I do that move, but my child will be coming there part-time, maybe a month, 2 months at a time, but they'll be living to wherever you're at. Let's say, for example, if you're in the States or Australia, Canada, the diaspora, they will live there just for that consistency and the ease of education in these places, right? If your child is over 5, 7, 10, 15, I can see actually you moving there with them, because there are international schools. There are really good schools in Liberia and in Ghana or wherever it is that you're going to stay, Nigeria and Sierra Leone, Togo. If we're talking about Liberia, so there are good schools in Liberia, like really private international schools where the schooling system is almost the same as, for example, in America, right? So your child it wouldn't be too different, because trust me, there are a lot of diaspora Liberians living in Liberia right now, so their children are going there. All right, they're speaking the same. Let's say that your child is American. There are a lot of American children in that school that they'll understand the teachers have whatever that word is, right, with that way of speaking, so to understand, right? So there are, and the schools are really secure, their fences and their security and all of that stuff. So education is there, right? And most of the schools are recognizable by the U.S. So if your child is having to transfer back to the U.S. to go to school, those credits and those diplomas and stuff like that will come over, right? So education wise, there are I'll say a good 5 schools if you live in the cities that your child can attend when you move to Liberia. So that's something you can definitely do. But like I said, so there are a lot of challenges. I wouldn't take my under 5-year-old there, because they really have to fully understand the environment they're in and the life change, right? Because when the kids are young, they don't understand. They like their things. They like their ease of living. We all know that, right? My son right now, who's 4 years old, he's watching YouTube, and there'll be an ad that comes on the screen. Like, that little man will not even let that thing last 1 second. As soon as the ad comes, he'll be waiting for the skip button to come. As soon as it comes, he like that 10-second ad is annoying to that little child. So they're used to having an ease of living. So I wouldn't really take them to Liberia now, because it's not like that, right? They wouldn't be able to comprehend the environment they're in, the culture change. Because, for example, like consistency in life, your child, the American child in Liberia, and they're watching their show and the current goal, it's going to be frustrating. That child's going to be upset. They don't get it. Like, you try to explain, oh, I'm going to put it in, like, Eddie, nah, they don't care. Like, they want to be able to live with ease. They want to be able to have the consistency. So that's something I probably wouldn't advise taking a very young children to live in Liberia. I'll take them for the experience. It'll be fun for them. It'll be fun for them. Very different. They're out in the open, which we don't get to do here a lot. Get to play with other kids, and go to different places. It's sunny and stuff like that. But typically that doesn't last for more than a couple of weeks, and they're ready to come back. They're ready to be back into their, 25 different channels they can watch. Their iPad, they're watching the show on. Electricity never goes, and get into a car and going to Walmart and going to their favorite places, going to the trampoline park, going to all of that. They're used to that, and those things will not be in Liberia. So the first initial culture difference is going to be interesting to them. It's going to be fun, but after no more than 2 weeks, they'll be ready to have that come back to their normal life. So So yeah, man. So you can, but I would advise, really against really young children. You can take your young children there though. It's just gonna be a nurturing. You're gonna have to really assist them in that transition. So how about AJ said, how about simply working remotely from a US company in Liberia? People are doing that. It's tricky because one is it's very difficult to do. Um, you have to go through a back way to do it, right? Because one, if you're living in a different country, you can live in a different state and things like that. If you live entirely into a different country and working for a US company, first of all, the company has to know, and not that many companies can do that, because the company will either have to have an international backing, can be a smaller company because of tax purposes, right? You're paying an employee in a different country. Certain laws and things, employment things wouldn't apply to you, number one. Secondly, whatever system you're using to work may not be available on a different IP address, a different IP address, right? So if you go to Liberia, your internet protocol, your IP, it's different, right? Your address is different than in the US. So first of all, right away, sometimes your whatever system you're using to work may not even show up. It may not even connect for you to be able to work. You can use something called VPN. I'm pretty sure most of you are aware of it. VPN, what it does is VPN just change your computer address back to the US. So it makes it seem like you're still in the US whilst you're in Africa, you VPN. So you can do that. Sometimes the VPN, it still may not work, but I've seen that work where people can do that, where your employer is just going to show us as if you're still in the US, even though you're in Africa, by switching your VPN to America whilst you're in Liberia. So I can see that working. That would be a great way, especially the standard of living. So even you can get a job in the US working for $15 an hour, $13 an hour, $17, $20 an hour. If you get that and you're living in Liberia, especially if you already have an established means of transportation and like a little nice house, a generator and things like that, I can see you, living comfortably, especially you work your 40 hours a week, everything is online, remote, and you get your pay, maybe after taxes and stuff. I don't care. I don't know. Maybe you get like 1,000, 1,500 every 2 weeks. That's about, let's say, at least 2,000 a month in Liberia. If you're not somebody who's trying to chill with the big boys and stuff, that's a good amount. You can live okay with that, right? And so yeah. So I think that's something that I think you can look into that, and see if your employer can do that. First, it's risky. Sometimes you can ask your employer about that, and get a phone call here. Sometimes you can ask your employer about that, and they may tell you they can't do it, and they will know now that you're planning on moving. So 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Hello.
You can.
Yes, a little bit. I'm on during a live. What's up? Wow. Anyways, I'll try. All right. So that's a risk where your employer then can will know, and they may not allow that. So, but yeah, that's something you can look into. Many digital nomads just use VPN, and the company has to. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. So that's what I was saying. The risk is if you tell your employer, now they're gonna know, and maybe they may not want to go through that. And so you can choose not to tell them and just use a VPN and change your IP address, and you can work from anywhere. You can work from Africa. And so yeah, that's a great way to do it too. And that's something that I would, if you're moving, like I said, so if you're moving to Liberia and you don't have like an established business, because not everybody who are moving to Liberia are doing business. Not everybody want to be a business person, right? People. So that's one way to do it, by working remotely whilst you're in Liberia. And especially with nowadays, with that being like the main method of sustainability as far as employment wise, most companies have already derived the method of doing that and are keeping that as the main way of working. So that's a great time. This is a great time to do it. And that's something you can test out, right? You could go to Liberia for 3 months, work from there and see how that whole thing would play. Of course, the time difference. So if you're a company where you're doing your remote work 9 to 5, that's something that's going to be, you're going to be working until 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you'll be working until maybe midnight or 1 a.m. if you're living in Liberia. So if that's something you're okay with, working from afternoon to midnight to 1 a.m., that's cool. Especially if you have to work on a weekend, that means you really can't do much. If you're working, from like 3 to 1 a.m. on a weekend, so every day, that's something too that that may affect. You're living in Africa and now you can't do anything in the evening, which is, it's nice. The nightlife in Africa and Liberia is great. So, but if you go to Liberia and now you're working every day, where you're working until 1 a.m., when are you going to chill, right? So this is something to think about too. If you're going to do that, maybe work for a company overnight. Maybe you're working evenings, remote evenings. Then at that time, it's going to be morning in Liberia. And by the time you're done with work, it's going to be right around the afternoon. Then you get the rest of the day to chill and things like that. So something to consider, and that's something that I know people who are doing it, and it works great. And it's a great way to live out of the U.S. and still be able to earn some sustainable amount of money, and live comfortably, man. But what's up, guys? I see 13 people. Only AJ is asking questions and contributing. What's up with you guys, man? Come on. I haven't done a live in like a minute. And if you're on it live, please just say what's up. Just say what's good. If you got a question, that's fine. Just say what's up. Say hello and things like that. It's it's the whole family, guys. It's like it's the whole family. I can't just have only me and AJ just talking. Come on, man. I already veiled you up because I was gone for a minute, and only a few people sent me an email and asking if everything was okay. I thought you guys were my family, but apparently, I don't know. You're making me feel so unwell. But anyways, if you're on it live, contribute. If you have any insight, we're talking about just moving to Liberia, but also shipping. That's the main purpose of the live, and checking in. So great topic, AJ is asking. But I want to hear from you guys as well. If you don't have anything really, you can just say what's good, just so that other people can kind of interact with you as well. Also, if you watch my most recent video I just posted a couple days ago about making my donut. So if you want a recipe of my donut, let me know, because I make the best donut. I just learned that thing like not too long ago. So I make donut in the morning and I eat it, man, from my little 4-year-old. He loves it. But anyways, yeah, so just talking about, again, shipping entirely, and also about we still are family. No, we're not family, princess. Don't be laughing. We're not family because you on this live, you didn't say nothing. And when I didn't post video for a long time, you didn't ask me if everything was okay. But anyways, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so let's talk about that. And also something that just been coming up on, of course, you all seen it, is the pool. I talked about this, man, and I was happy to see it because I've made a video about it the first time on Liberia. Things that I think can be, I don't know if the president watched my video. I think the president watched my video, but some of the things I talked about, and those are the things that are being done in Liberia, and you guys have seen it. I don't know if it's being done the right way. There was a park that was built recently in Liberia, and there's a pool area. All of these things I talked about it that wasn't there. I talked about it on this channel the first time I went to Liberia, that I think that things would be great to add. So I feel like somebody from the president administration saw my video. They don't want to give me credit, and that's what they're doing in Liberia. But I was glad to see that. But also just, like we all saw how the rain came and the whole thing was flooded. And the most recent pool that looked like people were saying it looks like a gutter, or it looks like I don't know what it was, but great to see that. You guys all know, as far as politics, I don't do too much about it on this channel. But I will just talk about things that are affecting the country, no matter what administration is in office, right? So, so it was great to see that. It's great to see that. I mean, hopefully it's done right. Because right now it looks like whenever it rains, the park is inoperable. Like people can really not use it. So I don't know how much of a help that is. So yeah. But anyways, man, yeah, so we're talking about shipping, we're talking about moving to Liberia and the process of doing so and what steps to take. And and something like, okay, so I have a question for you guys, right? I have a question for you guys. Um, so I see about 17 people on right now. I have a question for y'all. If would you consider moving to Liberia? How soon or how soon, and why or why not? So I just kind of want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your feedback. So here's the question: would you consider moving to Liberia if you're a Liberian on this live? Even if you're not Liberian, would you consider moving? Have you thought about it? Or you're somebody who's like, I'm not gonna do it. Here's the reason why. Or yes, I've thought about it. Here's the reason why. So I just kind of want to hear from you guys. Alice said yes. Alice, if you thought about it, so is that something that's a goal for you, or is this something you thought about but you're not gonna do? Like, okay, I'll consider doing it, but I'm not actually gonna do it. And Alice, if you said yes, how soon are you thinking about doing it? And what are your plans? So just kind of want to hear from you. And the rest, the remaining 16 of you guys, kind of want to hear from you, man. So as far as, so yes, I said I had planned to move, but my health has held me back. Okay, I'm still planning on moving. Yeah, so that's something that's concerning. I talked to, and I posted a video asking you guys about topics to talk about. Somebody talked about healthcare, and I think that's a real topic to talk about, because when I think about moving to Liberia, most people, the two things to think about: healthcare and security, right? Those are the two main topic that come up, because people don't mind moving to Liberia, right? I mean, we're all Liberians who miss home, want to move back. Number one things that come up is, okay, healthcare and security, right? I've made videos on security, how to be safe in Liberia, how to move. If you haven't seen that, check out that video. Very in-depth video about everything about security in Liberia, and how I think that Liberia is relatively secure and safe. Of course, like I said, man, we hear about all these death or mysterious things that go on in Liberia, but that is not how do you what's the word? That is not well, I'll just make it simple. That's not Liberia. It's not something that doesn't happen anywhere else, right? If you pick any country, no matter what country, mysterious things are happening, killings are happening, and all of that. No matter what country, right? And people are still there. So I wouldn't have that deter. Like, even us that in the US, we're here and people are killing. Like, you can be in school today and you just die, right? So like, it's more dangerous here in the US than other places right now with all of these things that are going on. So I'm hoping that this doesn't scare anybody from moving to Liberia or investing into the country, right? Because we Liberian, we know ourselves Liberians. Negative news is what draws us the most. That's what's the most interesting to us. That's what I'm gonna move towards the sunlight, because I feel like it's a little dark in here. That's what that is. Sorry guys, this thing is acting up now. I hope I don't have any issue with this thing like before, or maybe the sunlight is too much. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to my shade. I feel like I cannot see this phone. But anyways, so let's see. Alice said, let me see. Let me go back a little bit. I finally, okay. So Chaka Perry said, in about 2 years, I would like to move to Liberia. Man, that's good. Great to hear that. I'm gonna be doing business in Liberia. You can go in and coming back, or what are your steps? I'm curious to know. I'm pretty sure everybody else also kind of want to hear it, those who have considered. Yes, I said I finally found a doctor I feel comfortable, confident in. So now I'm beginning to put things in place, giving myself 24 months lead time. Okay, that's what's up. That's great to hear. I get excited hearing these things, knowing that people are really considering moving. Look, guys, we shouldn't let any of these things. Like, when I go to Liberia and I see other nationalities are living in Liberia and thriving and doing well and having businesses, having families there. Like, you go to Liberia, like, for example, you go to Cinco area, you see white people walking their kids, going to the road, going to the store. Indian people, they're like sitting at like the nice chilling spot with their family, the mom, the daughter, they're living. And we who are Liberians, who are living in the diaspora, thinking, well, I don't want to go back to my country. People actually feel like better, like, bigger, like, oh, I'm not going to live in Liberia, like, I'm here in the diaspora. The diaspora is a hustle ground, guys. It's like a stepping stone. It's just you come and hustle and you go back. Like, that's all what it is. I understand living in Africa is not for everybody. Some people would just rather live here. Ease of access, they establish, they grow up, they get older. Like, it's fine. I'm not saying everybody should move back. But I'm saying that's something majority of us should consider, especially if you have the means of doing so. So I'm glad to hear that, check out that you're thinking about doing so in about 2 years. That's a good time. You know, yeah, I definitely, I understand. So let's see here. So yes, I said because you find somebody, okay, for month, somebody wrote something, but then they took it back. I don't know who that is. But Alice said, I'm putting things into place before moving back home soon too. That's what's up, man. Oh, the person wrote it again. The problem about investing in Liberia is not the bad news. It's the horrible experience I had with my family and people. Liberian respect foreigners. They don't respect their own Liberian. Unfortunately, of course, like you guys know, man, I'm a Liberia fanatic, advocate, and everything positive. But I'm not naive, and I'm not gonna mislead. Right? That's one. That's a few things I'm not gonna do. I'm not naive, and I'm not gonna mislead. Um, that's something that's a struggle right now with Liberia. So, of course, I'm gonna acknowledge your what you just said, and that's true. Unfortunately, that's the unfortunate part. Unfortunately, Liberians in Liberia respect foreigners more than Liberian. How are we going to change that? How is that going to be changed? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be changed. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But that's the unfortunate truth. Like, foreigners, here's the thing, right? And the reason is because the foreigners have been in Liberia. They've established themselves. Most foreigners in Liberia are people who are making a good amount of money or living the standard of living is high. So everywhere, if somebody have a high standard of living, they're more respected. So basically, this should just tell us, like, look, these people have established themselves in a way where now they're having more respect than we Liberians in Liberia. So I think one way to start would be just by people just contributing to Liberia. Most Liberians are seeing each other doing good things. They're seeing each other building lives for themselves, building like a legacy, building a business, contributing and being somebody of value to society. I think they will sustain, because if a Liberian look at you right away and don't think you got it or don't think you're somebody, that they don't want to value you. But I think if they start to see more of that, then it will happen, right? So yeah, so but that's the only thing I think about as far as that. But yeah, Liberians in Liberia just kind of value foreigners more than their own Liberian. And I've expressed that on this channel so many times, as far as even us being in Liberia gathering content for the channel, right? If we weren't Liberians, it'll be easier. But we were Liberians, and we're trying to connect and relate to other people. When we get there, we speak our Liberian English to try to cover the location and promote it. They don't want to do it, like, because they're looking at you like, oh, like they don't want to do it. If you're white or whatever it is, you go there, yeah, they will welcome you and like, yeah, do anything you want to do. So I think it's a bigger challenge to like how we're going to change that. But like I said, just us contributing and doing things and being valuable to society, that might have to at least shift the narrative a little bit. But Shaka said, love Liberian people, so I want a change of life. Yeah, that's great, man. 4-3 boy, say you're speaking facts. I'm planning to visit this year after Qatar World Cup. Okay, that's what's up. And a lot of Liberians to go to Qatar. Isn't that like Dubai area or something? I'm not too familiar. That's great. So AJ said, what is your experience with women and dating in Liberia? Great topic. Oh man, let's talk about this a little bit. This is a very interesting topic. So every time people ask me this question, I don't go too much into detail in depth, because one is like when we go to any guy go to Liberia, automatically people start to think you're going to Liberia just for woman business, right? The reputation is there. wives and girlfriends don't even want their boyfriends, husbands to go to Liberia because it's like it's that reputation. And it's not a myth. It's not something that doesn't happen. It happens, but not everybody goes for that. But of course, no matter if you go there for that or not, you cannot deny the experience is right in front of your face. You know. So let me answer your question. I will answer your question for you, man. Let's talk about. AJ is asking about dating in Liberia, woman in dating Liberia. Here's what I'll say. I've said this, and I've said this before. I've made a whole video about should you marry in Liberia or should you date in Liberia. I've made a whole video. So great question, but that's just telling you guys. I'm always making content for you guys. I'm always anticipating what the question will be. I'm making videos so you guys know. If you're true Liberia to the world subscriber, you know I've made a video exactly about this. I think my title was, oh, should I go to Liberia and get married or something like that. But let's talk about it. So in a nutshell, dating in Liberia, man, if you live in the diaspora, yes, how should I put this? It's tricky, man. It's tricky. Here's what I'll say, right? I wouldn't 100% invest. And this could go both ways. I mean, you're asking about a woman, so I'm speaking about women. But this could go both ways. If you ask me about a guy, I can tell you the same thing, right? Or a similar thing. I wouldn't invest into a woman in Liberia 100%. I just would not do that. I would not have a woman that lives in Liberia and I live in the diaspora, and I consider that like my serious relationship. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have my woman live in Liberia and say, okay, I'm here, I'm going to be in the diaspora, and that's my woman, so I'm going to keep it that way. It's a long distance thing. I'm faithful, and I'm planning everything. I'm planning my whole life and everything around that woman to either go and get married and bring her or do whatever it is. I wouldn't do that. Yes, how I think dating in Liberia should be. We've been talking about moving to Liberia and stuff like that. And that's how I think it should be. If you are moving to Liberia, if you're going to live in Liberia, let's say part-time, half the year there, half the year here, stuff like that. If you have plans of making Liberia your home base, then I would recommend dating in Liberia. Other than that, I would not recommend dating seriously, relationship, engaged, and all of that stuff to a woman living in Liberia whilst you live in the diaspora. I would not do that. But there's a caveat, right? Of course, it doesn't apply to everybody, but here's why I would even consider having a serious relationship with a woman in Liberia. Here's how. One is, first of all, you're not doing that with a woman who you met online. That's the first no. Like through Facebook or social media, interacting with her and all of that. No. This is somebody you got to meet in person. One. Number one is, how did you meet that person? How was that interaction? What kind of feeling did you get from that woman when you met her? Right? And do not send them money. Yeah, so what kind of feeling did you get from that woman? Where did you guys meet? What was that interaction like? Number one. Number two, what is her background? Is that a woman who, first of all, this simple thing has to be in place. One, education, employment. Okay, is she somewhat educated? That she has employment that sustains. Like when you look at her standard of living, and you look at her employment and source of income, does it match up? Does it sustain? Right? If she's in Liberia driving a big car and she just work at, let's say, like a checkout at the grocery store on the boulevard and things like that, that doesn't add up, right? I'll consider that. How long has she been employed? Is she somebody who just started working? Is she employed in the field where she is a career, where she have expertise in that field? That's what I'll consider. Okay, she's a nurse. She has a nursing degree. She went to nursing school. She graduated, all that stuff, right? Or she's in some kind of position, but her background and her training doesn't match up. Like, these are things I would consider as far as even dating that woman. Take her serious. That's that. Because here's the thing. Again, this is not a blanket statement. I don't want anybody to hold me to this. I don't want anybody to say da. But majority, that dating in Africa is completely different than dating in the diaspora. Most, keywords most, guys, we're all mature on this life, hopefully, and I hope people can comprehend and read between the lines, because I'm very keen on saying certain things before it's like a blanket, right? Most women in Liberia still live the traditional way. You get a man to take care of you. The man pays for everything, pays for your hair, your food, your standard of living, all of that stuff. You're submissive to the man. He's the man. He go gets the bread. You take care of one or two things. Now, if you're a woman, you have a man who meets some of your needs. Well, what about the other needs? He meets some of your financial obligation. What about the rest? Most women, majority of women in Liberia has 2 to 5 boyfriends. Some are just there for certain things. Some are just there for money. Some are just there to, maybe he works at this place and he gives her that thing. Some are, let's say he works at the, I don't know, phone place and she gets all these credits or this or that. Majority is almost, it's very slim to meet a woman in Liberia that doesn't have more than one boyfriend. Very slim. That's what I'm saying. If you're in the diaspora and you think about dating in Liberia, I would highly recommend not to really invest in that until you're living in Liberia or for extended period of time with that woman before doing that. You know what I mean? Other than that, you go there, you have a little, girl, whatever it is, you have fun, and hey, I'll see you next time I come out, like that, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? But like, and you asked me about a girl, but I'll say the same thing for a man. Everything I just said, same thing for a guy. The culture in Liberia is different. Most men, you're almost like, I don't know, 95% of the men in Liberia have more than one woman. Similar things. The access to women in Liberia is easy, right? Because again, of the employment rate of women, it always ties back in any part of the world. It ties back to the same thing. Like the women who are employed, I'm not saying, most women are self-employed, right? Selling markets, selling little things, slippers and shirt and everything. But like as far as in the employment sector, the women, like they're like I don't know, 7%. Everything is men. So the country is not set up where as a woman you go to school, you graduate, you get a job. It's just not like that. Most women that graduate got degrees. I have a friend who was close to me. She got an accounting degree. Can't really get a job. It's a men's playground, right? You got to do one or two things to get in. So, and most women are dependent on men. And for that matter, if you're a man who is making some, because most women that go to Liberia to find a man to get married, they find a man who have a good standard of living, right? You have a job, your car, and a house. Those men, most of them, again, not saying all of them, most of those men have at least 3 to 5 girlfriends. Why? Because those girls are having that man to meet whatever other needs, sustain their living, be able to pay bills, be able to do this and do that and that and all that stuff. To the point where some of these girls, they know each other, they don't even care. Like, they know. Like, most women in Liberia know for a fact that their man has another woman somewhere, They don't. What are you gonna do? You break up with him, you go to the next guy, he has another woman too. You don't have ways to pay a bill. Like, so that's the kind of the culture right now, how it is in Liberia. So I'm answering the question about a woman, but that goes to a man also. So if you're looking to go to Liberia to get married, it's tricky. It's very tricky. It's unless you're somebody who don't really care about that, you just cool, you can do your thing, fine, it's cool. It's tricky. So to answer your question, I'll only take a serious relationship in Liberia if I'm going to live there. I stay there. I see the woman's standard of living. I see her background, the way she interact, her friends, and all of that stuff. What she has in her possession, and all of that before I consider really dating her. And if I did her, maybe if I live in the U.S., she will come to the U.S. to visit, but not to move here permanently. To come and visit, go back to Liberia. Come and visit, go back to Liberia. Maybe if having a child, maybe you can come here, give birth. I don't know, there's some kind of thing around that now, laws and stuff around that. But yeah, maybe give birth here, go back. But your home base should be Liberia and you live there. But I wouldn't advise just meeting somebody, because the women in Liberia are beautiful. I'm not going to lie. We all know that. The women in Liberia, most of them, 95%, maybe 90%, are beautiful women. They look great. They're in shape. great bodies, because you know the different standard of living. Most people are they're not just sitting down. In America, we sit down, we get our popcorn, ice cream, we watch TV, we relax, we sleep, get in our car, go to work, sit down, we're barely walking things. In Liberia, but it's outdoors, it's walking and eating natural food, not too many refrigerated food. You go to your market, you buy your food, your greens, all that stuff. So most of the women, they're in shape, great bodies. So most men that live in the United States, who are, let's say, living in maybe a state where mixed, you know, most of the time you see one fine woman, everybody want her, and she's like the ish, and she dogging men, you know, men are chasing her, she's like kicking them to the side and, shit, and stuff like that. However, if you're in Liberia, most of the women are just beautiful, natural, you know, great body, great shape, everything. So if you're a man, you go to Liberia, you see that, now your eyes just like full. You just, and the culture, most women are submissive, they cater to you. So if you're a man from the diaspora, that's why I see some of my brothers doing this, to go to Liberia, to meet a girl who, you know, great, a girl who, if she was in the US, would be like the talk of the town, and she would be like this one that everybody won, and you wouldn't have a competition, you wouldn't have a chance. Now you're in Liberia, you have a chance, because most of the women, if you're from abroad, they feel like you have a means of providing. Yeah, they'll be with you. You're okay looking guy, it's cool, they'll be with you. So now they're showing you all this attention. That's where I see my brothers, they go there and they're eye full, and they're making all this commitment, making all these moves that I probably wouldn't advise, right? I've seen people who go to Liberia one time, meet a woman who they've never seen looks like that, they show them all the attention and everything, and they're like, oh crap, they're making moves. They come back, they're packing up, they're moving, they're like sending all their money and all their resources there, and they're like, you know, head is full, like, man, this girl, I can't believe she's really, like, you know, things like that. So I probably wouldn't recommend, man. So I like I said, same goes for a man, you know. So I see most of our sisters here going back home to get married, which is not a bad thing at all. I'll encourage that, but like I said, man, it's very tricky. You have to do some diligent work, and your end goal should not just be go and did come back, go and did come back, bring him here or bring her here, and things like that. It has to be somebody with strong backing and some serious life goals and stuff like that. It's not far from Dubai. Okay, so it's not far. How can I build? Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so Alice said, how can I build my 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath like Ghanaian house? Because most of the houses that I see in Liberia is not pleasing, and I've made a video on that. So Alice, I made a video on said the title of the video is building my luxury house in Liberia, right? You see the title, you see me on there, and you see the house. Those are the modern looking house. My house too is also a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2.5 bath, things like that. So that's always been my, from the first time I went to Liberia, that's always been my kind of like the things that I wasn't so happy with. Like the houses just look, and I said this one time, somebody came on live and said, oh, how can you criticize, and you know, some people that can't afford and things like that. No, it's not about that. It's just the thinking. Like these modern looking houses, they cost someone most of the time the same as these ugly looking houses. It's just design. It's just how these architects are designing things, right? Some of the things are being the more sustainable material, recyclable material you can get for cheap and use to build your home. So how can you do that? There's a way to do that. There are places and organizations that build houses the modern looking way. If you send me an email, libtotheworld@gmail.com, I can send you some links to people we're using, some guys who are reputable, and they're building modern looking homes in Liberia, which is great. But yeah, I think most people should go that route, kind of modernize the country, man. The houses in Liberia that are being built now, you know, we Liberia, we just follow. Like we just follow what everybody else is doing. Like nobody wants to step out of the box and really be innovative. Not nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like most people are just follow. It's easy, you just follow. So most of the new houses that are being built, they still look like the same. They still look like houses that are being built like during child's at a time, and you know, it's just like, yeah, it's not. People should do more research. Maybe if it costs a little bit more, like for instance, those zinc houses. It's like, why would you put zinc on your house? You know, that's something that guaranteed to be rusted in like, I don't know, 10 years, 5 to 10 years. 10 years, something long, it's not a long time. And then you have a home that is rusted zinc, like I said, there are places, there are even companies in Liberia that use sand and recyclable plastic to make these sustainable roof that is not zinc and that they last forever and it don't rust. It's like this material that like people use. And I have a company that I go through, the company in Liberia, in Ghana, and Nigeria, like that use that, right? Like I said, it may cost just a little bit more, but it lasts in a very long time. They look very appealing. So most Liberian, we just build house. Everybody see everybody putting zinc on it, so everybody just use zinc, and that's the most least appealing things. Even country like I keep mentioning Ghana and stuff like that because I've been there. Parts of Ghana, they ban people using zinc on their homes because it doesn't look good when you fly over certain cities and all you see is just rusted zinc everywhere. So there are more sustainable material. We just got to do a little more research as Liberians. You're building your home, just do a little more research instead of just finding somebody who can build a home, getting money to go build and put like zinc, same porch and the Colombo and all that stuff and put a zinc on top. The zinc, there's people where they're painting the zinc different colors now to kind of mask the rust, but it's still going to get rusty, right? So, and those real silver zinc are the worst because they look shiny and new for the first couple years, and it just start dulling, it's getting rusty, leaking, all of that. So we need to move away from like using zinc and things like that, to use recycled material, like companies in Liberia that have researched and found that use sand and plastic to make this almost look like asbestos, but it's not. It's PVC. It's called something, I forgot the name, but they use it in Liberia to do that. So yeah, that's how you can do. So Lil Ernest said, to be a citizen of Liberia as a foreigner, what would they have to do? Pay my way for citizenship. So Liberia, if you're an African or black descent, it's easier to be a Liberian citizen. The dual citizenship thing, is going on currently. So to be you apply for the citizenship, right? There are pathway to be a citizen in Liberia. You can go through your local consulate in your state. So if you are in whatever state you're in, just search Liberia consulate. I think they're not in every state. I think they're in a few states. In DC, there's one in Minnesota. Here, you talk to them. There's a pathway, especially if you're black. So it's in the Constitution. If you're black, of the African descent, there's a pathway to be a citizen in Liberia. But it's not. Yeah, you pay. You apply. You pay your fees and stuff like that for the process. But yeah, it's not as difficult as there's one in New York. I think there's one in DC. I think there's one in Minneapolis, in Minnesota here as well. So AJ, so remember that video? Yep, be a citizen. Okay. AJ, just be careful, take your time, get to know the person. Yep, do not send them money because you will be supporting them and the lover. That's true, Jay. That's true. Somebody said they're GoPot. Yep, 95%. That's a very high ratio. Dr. Stella. Oh, it is. It's a high ratio, man. It's a high ratio. I'm not gonna lie. They're very controlling, big cheaters, and like godma and goddaughter business. I tell you. It's not all lost. There's hope. It's not all lost. Yes, I said I've heard those dating stories. I met a guy who told me he flat out refuses to date in Monrovia because the women at his level are few. Okay, so it's hard to meet someone who he doesn't know her ex. Just good point. So yeah, that's okay. So most of the things I'm talking about too is mainly in the city. So dating outside of Monrovia, I think you have better chance of having a good woman than dating in Monrovia. In Monrovia, everybody want to be big Jew, and being a big Jew almost require having multiple, people like Godpa or these ministers then be supporting all these women out there. They be what comes to that. Can you please share your email? The email is libtotheworld at gmail. libtotheworld@gmail. And also Red Vision Co. Red Vision Co. RADVISION CO@gmail. Those are the two means and method by which we get to interact with people and get kind of like one-on-one interaction, and maybe if you need help finding or resources and stuff like that, that's what we can do. But But yeah, man, 70 minutes, so 61 hour and 10 minutes. All right, so I think I'm about to get out of here, but I kind of want to check in with you guys again today. Live videos mainly about shipping to Liberia. So if you're still watching this live, you can comment on it at any time. Means and method by which you're using the ship and how that process is for you, your experience, and also what are some ways that myself and everybody else can use to get their goods in Liberia with ease. Number one, we also talked about moving to Liberia and the processes. I've made a couple videos on that. If you're new to the channel, check it out. Just go through, if you haven't watched the video in a long time, just go back, go through some of old videos and just watch them, you know, kind of refresh basically on some of the topics we went through. And we talked about dating in Liberia, my thoughts, which is always, I wouldn't advise dating in Liberia from the diaspora. I just wouldn't advise that. I mean, dating is fine. Dating, that's cool. But I'm talking about, that's my serious this or that. Of course, if you're somebody who are flexible with being disappointed, and again, it's not everybody, like I said, but it's very slim. Your chances of not having the right picking is higher than the right picking. So, yeah. So, anything else, guys? What else we talk about? Anything else? Anything else we want to talk about? So we can do that, or you know, or I can give it, like message, or I can give it. But yeah, anything else? The next thing I'm gonna talk about is healthcare, though, because I'm doing more research on that. So yeah, healthcare. Can you please repeat your email? The email is lib to the world, lib2theworld@gmail.com, lib2theworld@gmail.com, or redvisionco@gmail.com. So those are the two emails that we use and things like that. So yeah, hit me up if you kind of need any guidance on maybe building or basically anything. If I don't know, I know a few people who I can reach out to and ask. I used to speak with Dr. Cooper. She's got a really great practice. Okay, I'll definitely do our research who Dr. Cooper is, get that information. Yeah, if I can get people on, because we're about to start doing interviews. So if you're somebody, I mentioned the email, send me an email if you have any expertise or knowledge or anything else. This year we're going to do a lot of bringing people on the channel. So we'll do a video call, to an interview, and I'll post it on the channel for all of us, for you guys to see. So if you're somebody who have expertise in any of these topics we've been talking about, just please send me an email so I can bring you on the channel, so we can talk about it. And so yeah, because people, we all have these questions and we love to know the answer to it. So she and I were on Focus in Liberia last weekend. Okay, yeah, definitely, I'll check it out and see what that is. So yeah, all right, guys. So anything else? Should we talk about anything else? Probably the next 10-15 minutes. I know, like I said, most of you guys have questions. Most of you have asked, sent an email. So if there's anything else, any other questions for you guys, from you guys, so we can talk about it. You know, I'm about to go cook some kind of dry rice, so I don't want to store too close. I go and get dry crawfish. I make my pepper sauce with dry crawfish. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I can't wait for. And another thing too is when we're in Liberia, it was strange. You know, I like to cook. I cook a lot. You know what I mean? So especially my son loves to eat like things I cook. He's my tester, and a new thing I cook, he eats. So when I was in Liberia, I used to love going to the market to buy food, but that is just something that was strange. Like the way that people look at you when you're in the market as a guy buying food, like they just look at you like with I don't know, some kind of way. So that was very interesting to see. And I went to the market almost every day. I just hop on a bike, go to the market, buy food. Surprisingly though, I mean, food is, if you want to eat something good, food is expensive in Liberia. Like even going to the market to buy food is expensive. Sometimes it just get me wondering, like these people who are just selling, you know, cold water and things like that, how do they afford to buy food? You know, because I'll go to the market and spend like $40, 40 US dollars. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I know. I mean, I put meat and all kind of things in my food. But like if somebody, so basically if somebody who just want to eat good, like just to eat good. So I mean, you really got to be making a lot of money in Liberia to eat that. Other than that, you just your blow dry rice with one fish or something. Because I just found myself spending at least $30 and stuff like that to get food. And imagine, people who are making $50 a month and stuff. If you're spending $30 one day, $20 one day for food, people are making $50, $75 a month from that little business they're doing, or even working or being employed. So that's a lot. That's a lot. So that's something that I really think about every time I go to the market. Every time I go to the market, I think about, man, how are these people affording these things? Like, how are they affording this food? So it affects me. Sometimes so let me just buy a little bit. I don't want to buy too much because it's just gonna have this guilt. Like, I'm buying all of these things, put in my one pot. This could be like like a couple days of food for somebody. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's just thoughts across my mind. But anyways, so what's up, guys? What's good? Like, what else? 20 people on this thing. I'm pretty sure only like 5 people have commented on this video or asked a question or contributed. So I kind of want to hear from you guys. The rest, the 15 of y'all, like, y'all ain't got nothing to say. I'm gonna be real. So like, I'm just speaking real Liberian English, yo. So, but anyways, we're excited about our next trip to Liberia. Anybody know the COVID thing? Can anybody answer that question? Are they still doing COVID tests at the airport? Anybody know anybody who's been there recently, or if you've been there recently in the past few months? We got back like 4 months ago or so, I think. If you know, so because a topic nobody talk about is Liberia for children who has grown up in the diaspora or born. Where to start from? Liberia for children who has grown up in the diaspora. I don't understand. Is that like you asking about children who were grown in the diaspora who are living in Liberia? Or I think that's similar thing we're just talking about with Jay. Because Jay asked me a question about moving to Liberia with younger children and how that's going to be like. Is that what you're asking about? Or what are you asking about? Because I think we talked about it a little bit, and mainly it's just a tricky thing to do. There's a lot of preparation that has to be done for children born outside of Liberia who are going back to Liberia. It's a big transition. For an adult, you can feel it. For an adult, you feel it. You feel that different. It's a little inconvenient, but you manage it because you're an adult. But it's really hard on children. Very, very, very difficult on children who cannot comprehend the situation that's going on. Oh, we had to move, or we're here to better our lives, or and stuff like that. But yeah, so if you can clarify that for me. So I don't know how to pronounce your name, sir. I don't know how to pronounce the name. You can help me out. David said, I'm from Sierra Leone. I'm just here. I can't contribute anything. You can. Sierra Leone is a neighboring country, David. You can definitely contribute. Most of the things that apply to one African country somewhat spills over to the next. Sierra Leone is our neighbor. So I was in Sierra Leone for 3 days when we were in Liberia recently. We just drove up to the border and we went to Sierra Leone. We chilled a little bit. Beautiful place. And yeah, so you can definitely contribute as far as in general in Africa or West African countries. What are some of these challenges and things that we can do to contribute? So David, well, thank you for being here too as well. Emmanuel said, what's your take on food security and quality education? Food security. I wonder what that means. Okay, so I guess food security as far as like having enough food, or the quality of the food, or like what does that mean really? But as far as education, I talked about it earlier today. There are a few schools that are really have like international standards, or even local schools that are doing great, especially if your child is going to transfer credit at any point in any other country. There are schools that definitely can do that in Liberia. But yeah, education wise, yeah, people who are living in Liberia of higher or greater standard of living have schools that are very secure, very westernized. I mean, unfortunately, westernized means, most westernized standard of education in Liberia better. It's just kind of what it is. Their child would learn as if they're learning here in the U.S. and things like that, the education wise and stuff. Um, but yeah, education wise, that you can definitely do that for schools. So they're not that many, but there are a few. Food security, I don't really understand that question. But as far as food, um, you know, they're expensive. You either buy processed food from the supermarket or you buy locally made food, which I mean, I'll recommend just food that you can cook. That you can cook, like actually cook, because other than that, it's not that safe as far as food wise. Just buying food that you can't cook, like food that you can just buy and eat. You know what I mean? I can buy food and market and come home, wash, cook, and stuff like that. I can, or you just go to supermarket route, buy supermarket freezer food and stuff like that. More secure. But yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah, that's my answer to that. I was born in Liberia, but all my life I live in Italy and UK. I'm asking about people like me. I'm 34, but only been in Liberia once. I want to build and start business. Um, so to answer that, I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over. Me personally, but which is good, because I'm glad, because I've made a lot of videos. I made a video on step by step how to build in Liberia. And if you're not subscribed, any of you guys are not subscribed, please do so. And after this live, just scroll through my videos and just check it out. All of these things we're talking about, the video, I made individual videos. I made a video about when you're living in the diaspora, how to build in Liberia while living in the diaspora. There are some key steps. There are some things in that video you cannot miss. If you skip it, you will learn the hard way. Like, you will learn the hard way. So, but you can definitely do that even though you didn't grow up in Liberia. I would say watch that video for more in depth, but overall, I would say the brief thing is just do your research, find people who you can trust and who you can hold accountable, and the easy means of holding them accountable. Like for instance, it's something simple I mentioned is having video phone calls with people who are doing project for you, so they can show you live what's being done, and you doing your own research and knowing prices and timeline and things like that of these things, so you're in on the process and not just give money to somebody to do something for you to eat your eyeball. So things like that. So check out that video, man. Like, there are definitely ways you can do that. Of course, they're gonna tell you not local Liberians, so they'll want to eat your eyeball. But like I said, that video will show you exactly the means and method of doing it without people really eating your eyeball. But there are some sacrifices that you have to make as far as visiting the country, spending an extended period of time researching, going to manufacturers, getting pricing and things like that. So yeah, there are ways to do it, definitely. David said I may have missed to Liberia. I would be interested to know, especially if the ship went. Yeah, so that's one thing too. I'm asking viewers, all of you guys, if you ship to Liberia, someone who shipped there, I'm looking for more means. Right now, most people are just finding people who are in the area who are shipping. If you're in, there are people who come to your house and pick up the barrel, or they have a spot where you go to and you get the barrel, and they're shipping for you. So right now, that's what people are doing. But I'm curious to know if anybody have more in-depth about how to ship to Liberia. I would like to know myself, because I'm really thinking about shipping a container, just with all of our own stuff, a whole container, to Liberia from China. So there's that. So Jay said, that's the link with Yasa and Dr. Cooper. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I see more people are coming on, but yeah, I'm just asking if you just came on, any questions, topics that you would like to discuss a little bit. Maybe question for me, or maybe any suggestion you have, or any info you have that you think is valuable to all of us on this live, or people that may watch later on. Emmanuel said, what's your advice when it comes to investment startup back home? Investment startup. Okay, so if you can clarify this question, are you asking about investment startup as in you investing into a startup company in Liberia, or you putting money into having a startup of your own in Liberia? Because both of these are possible. I posted a video. There are forums, and there are even some grants and things in Liberia from the American Embassy where they're giving grants to startup. If you have a business plan, if you have something innovative that's going to be sustainable and going to contribute to the economy, employ a few people, but also that it's really revolutionary, something that's really going to solve like an urgent need in the country. There are startups. There are even banks, like I said, banks who are giving out loans in Liberia, you know, surprisingly. But like I say, you just have to have a strong business plan, and you know, maybe, for example, something a security, right? Something that they can hold as security, maybe your land or something like that. But there are definitely a lot of means of getting investment startups that is pretty attainable, especially if you have a good business plan and a product or services that's going to be very innovative and contributing to the economy, and you definitely can. But if you're talking about you investing into your own startups, I'll say, like I said, I made videos on this. Just do your research, your market research, the need. Are you solving a problem? And is this something? What is the market saturated? Is this something? If it is saturated, are you bringing something of a different flavor, right? What is your competitive advantage? What is going to make you stand out from the other people, right? So one thing could be a simple thing as service. A lot of people offer the same product, but the service is what differentiate people, right? If you're somebody who have a different standard as far as you know, your customer service and things like that, that can set you apart. So yeah, those are the two things. You know, you can definitely recommend having a startup. Just have a strong research, see what's in the area, see what's lacking, what people are wanting, and things like that. Definitely. Let's see. Approximately how much does it cost to ship a container to Liberia? Great question. I'm not sure. I think right now it's probably around $2,000 if you're looking at like a 40-foot container. $2,000 to $3,000. That's from my last research I did and experience. But if anybody know anything better, or if it's more or less, let me know. But yeah, that's approximately how much it's gonna cost you to ship one of these huge containers and stuff back home. Yeah, so that's what it is, guys. Any other question? Let's see here. Whew. I'm gonna go call my driver. So any other question? But yeah, guys. So it's wedding season, so we're doing a lot of wedding. If you're watching it and you're in the US, we do a lot of weddings in all state. We do a lot, so we're booked all summer. We fly all over the country to do weddings. I think we do the most beautiful wedding videos and pictures. So that's kind of what we're doing mostly of. So if you're in the US, if you know somebody getting married, if you're getting married, let me know. If you're in Liberia also, if you're going to Liberia, we do a lot of weddings there. Of course, you guys know that's where we're in Liberia every year during the end of the year, because that's where we go to end the wedding season. We have a few weddings there this year too, so as well. That's my business, so I'm on this platform, so I might as well mention that. So if you're in any other state, let us know. Check out our Instagram. It's redvisionco_weddings. You can check out our Instagram. redvisionco_weddings. And you get to see some of the weddings we do and pictures, videos, and everything like that. So I'm just here at the studio. We're moving because we need to get a bigger space. But yeah, that's what it is, guys. So I don't know. That's it. What are some of the ideas? Somebody said, what are some of the ideal services that urgent investment in the country at the moment? For 2022, I made a video called Businesses to Start in 2022. I highly recommend check that out. I'm sorry, it looked like I'm just referring you guys to other videos, but I mean, I can say a few things on here, but if I made a whole video, an entire video about one topic, there are more information in that than I can say here, because that means I have to make a whole 30 minutes talk on just that one topic. But I made a video saying businesses to start in 2022 in Liberia, even 2021. Watch that video. There's a lot of things immediately that you can do that makes money, things that are lacking in the country. We mentioned a simple thing that which is the most popular thing you would think about. The first thing is solar panel, either being a distributor or being a hub where you distribute to local businesses and stuff like that, and all chip in and pay you for it, or you being a person who just retail solar panels, or being into solar tech as far as and servicing and providing services for people who own solar panel. So many things that right now are the dire need in the country. Like I mentioned things like transportation, but not for people, but like for machineries and goods and services. I also mentioned things like machineries and equipment used for building, but not like your regular ones, like things that like speed up the efficiency of workers and things like that. Those are all, we all know, everybody building in Liberia now, which is great. Everybody's building something in Liberia, and like I said, we all know the building something, you build your house, the line's crooked and things like that. If you, most of what are from the Western place who are going to Liberia to build, we want our places to look a certain type of way. And right now, the equipment in the country and the people, the personnel, it's not really allowing that. So having a business that are catered to that, and you definitely have that customer base and stuff for that. So Emmanuel said, what's your advice on agriculture? My advice on agriculture would be, especially agriculture has to do with, of course, animal and plants. This is all agriculture. I'll say right now, even simple thing as fish farming, it's a great thing to do. You know, you would think that you're in Africa, so that shouldn't be something to do, but it definitely, especially to have a sustainable breed of fish that restaurants and higher places are using now. You can be a key customer to provide that. Pig farming is a great one too, as well. That's something that that would go. As far as plant-based, in Liberia, we're in Liberia. The crazy thing about we're in Liberia, we eat rice every day, but the biggest supply of rice is not in Liberia. It's not Liberian. It's imported to Liberia. That just blew my mind. That's the craziest thing. I never ever thought that would be possible. That the biggest manufacturer supply of rice is the company outside of Liberia. But that goes deeper than that. That goes deeper than if you decide to be the biggest, what kind of hurdles you got to face, because these people who are supplying have some connection with somebody in the government that doesn't really, that just want to keep it that way. So if you're coming as a new guy wanting to take over the market and be, hey, I want to have rice be the biggest supply of rice be in Liberia. You have a few hurdles to go to. You have a few connections to make and a few things to do to be able to do that, because sometimes they're suppressing upcoming businesses that can overtake these guys who've been doing it for a long time. These Lebanese guys who have great connections with ministers and stuff like that, who make sure their pockets are well served. So if you're coming with innovative ideas and trying to take over, sometimes you might run into an issue where now that means you're about to stop that other man bread, because now your stuff is more superior, more efficient, convenient, affordable. So you may run into issues. So again, just things to consider and be prepared for that battle. But if you do win that battle, definitely, and that's going to help the country overall, but also get you a great business. So that's what it is. That's what it is. All right. I'm hungry. I've been talking. I can talk to her. Damn. I've been talking straight. Can you? I've been talking straight for almost like an hour and a half, non-stop. I let talking. No wonder why I'm doing YouTube. I let talking be in the bar with. I can let you. But anyways, yeah, I gotta go though. I gotta go eat. I go buy my food from the African. The African store, they can close early. I don't know why they close early. Everybody coming from work at 5 o'clock. But they close early. But anyways, guys, expect the next video. I'm gonna go on live as often as possible. To catch up with you guys, but yeah, I love chatting with you guys. Of course, although most of you don't even like to comment, you're just watching, you don't want to comment, but I love chatting with you guys. This is more fulfilling to me than the other type of videos. I do that type of videos, of course. It stays there, it's more organized, more in depth, but I do this more because I'm interact with you guys one-on-one, which is more fulfilling. But anyways, thank you, Emmanuel. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna see you guys probably in a couple of days. I'll be back on live to do a video. Don't forget to subscribe, man. If we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. Can you imagine that? And again, please, like, come on. I'm looking for somebody in Liberia who can be a correspondent for the channel. Please reach out to people you know. I don't know. I don't understand. Jay said block making machine tow trucks. Yes. So I've made 3 videos on that, and all of those things just mentioned are in that video as a key business to do. So watch those videos. I highly recommend. But again, guys, please help me out. I'm looking for somebody in Liberia who can be a correspondent. We're going to pay this person to help us get content for the channel in Liberia. We all know we go to Liberia often, but somebody being in Liberia who can gather content for us daily that we can talk about and things like that. So please, Emmanuel, I try to recommend people for you. Please do that, Emmanuel. Anybody else, help us out, guys. Please, we need a correspondent. This is not a free thing. People, the thing about it, just like people in Liberia need employment. Most people are not doing anything, and a lot of people are creative. So if you can link us up with somebody who is is comfortable in front of the camera. You don't even have to be in front of the camera, just to gather content for us. We have all these topics we want to talk about, but we need some content to. It's a YouTube channel for video. Instead of me just talking all the time. So yeah, it's a paid partnership. That's what we're gonna do. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. But yeah, guys, so I appreciate you guys for being on. I'm gonna head out and go to get some African food to eat part of the day. But don't forget to subscribe, guys. All right, I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. All right.